Anyways, speaking of canon,
I finished the last Aftermath book in
Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars Aftermath book that's called Empire's End. Talks about what happened at Jakku. We see the down Star Destroyer and stuff, and Force Awakens kind of goes over that. I'm glad to be done with these books. They're terrible. The writing is bad. The story doesn't really matter. Let's just there was a big battle. The Empire lost. New Republic won. That's why you see a bunch of ships and stuff in Force Awakens. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's lame.
Wow.
Yeah. All that for that?
Yeah. Doesn't really talk about a First Order. The remnants of the Empire end up leaving into deep space. Apparently, Palpatine had this contingency plan where if he died, they can chart their way through deep space and then eventually come back.
Okay.
And start anew. And at the end of the book, that's kind of what happens is they leave. The Empire leaves. And there's like the last line of the book where Rey Sloane, she's like the new Grand Admiral.
Yeah.
Where she's like, we need to find a new home. That is our First Order. I was like, oh, God.
She said it.
Yeah.
She said the
But
name
anyway,
of
glad to be done with those books.
that sucks.
Yeah.
That's disappointing.
It's just the writing is bad. Don't read any Chuck Winding books.
He's not a good writer?
No.
Huh.
Dialogue is bad compared to like Tarkin and stuff
you
like
would
that.
think like you could get anybody. Like in the sci-fi book writing universe, like, hey, we'd like you to write Star Wars canon. People would be like, yes.
No, and most of these guys have written previous like Legends books or EU books, whatever you want to say.
So what the heck?
He just sucks. What are you gonna do?
Pressure.
Yeah, but yeah,
it was easier to write a book that nobody cared about or wasn't going to be part of the canon.
Yeah, so that happened. Speaking of Star Wars as well, watched Rebels season 3 wrapped up.
Yes,
David. You don't watch Rebels, right?
No.
Oh, man.
It doesn't.
Sorry.
It takes place in between, obviously.
Well, I want to talk about the last 2 episodes.
David. So, spoiler alert. We're going to talk about this a little bit.
Yeah. So, watch Rebels if you're a Star Wars fan. It's so good. It's definitely a lot less kiddie than something like Clone Wars was. But even Clone Wars got they got some dark arcs. In Clone Wars.
But this is. But it's funny to watch this show. Kind of at the beginning. It was like, okay, we know we're going to get the big Star Wars fans, right? The Star Wars fans are going to watch this because they're Star Wars fans. And then there was like little episodes, like you always talk about, filler episodes where it's like, we're going to go on this adventure, and it'll close up by the end of the episode. But then
you had that in the season 2.
A little bit, but there was less and less of that, in my opinion, because it felt like things tied together more as a whole story. And then like by the end of this season, it's just
the last 2 episodes, man.
Well, the last 3 episodes. The Twin Sons episode was before the season finale.
Right, that was the second to last episode.
No, it was split up into 2
parts.
That as
one.
Okay. Well, anyways, the last, quote unquote, 2 episodes, like big things happening in the Star Wars universe on a cartoon show for kids on Disney XD, like big things, like gigantic characters dying, characters being killed.
So people who don't watch the show,
yeah,
you're like, that Darth Maul guy, he died in Phantom Menace,
right?
But only if you watch Clone Wars, he was Spider Maul at one point,
yes.
right? And then he got resurrected.
How he got cut in half, right? Cut in half by.
He survived that, Jordan.
He survived.
Oh,
I don't know if you knew that.
Because it cauterizes you.
Oh yeah, that's true.
The lightsaber.
Apparently below the internal organs, he just caught the legs. You
Yeah.
don't need legs.
Yeah.
You got spider, whatever.
So then they gave him like spider robot legs, which is like
legs.
more terrifying.
Yeah,
Like,
He was very creepy in Clone Wars. He was like crawling around that cave with like a freaking robe. Anyways, but we finally see Darth Maul's arc wrapped up in Rebels.
Right. He had his own comic book through Dark Horse, I think was
he has actually a line going on right now too.
Okay. So anyways, which was cool because like Darth Maul, we got to see him in Phantom Menace and it was like, oh, this guy looks awesome.
And then they kill him. Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, that was quick. That was kind of a waste. And then he gets enough backstory.
He almost becomes one of the best Star Wars characters. It's a roller coaster, right? He's like
evil.
He's super evil, and then he's like, well, now I want to kill Palpatine and like all these people because they left me for dead and like didn't care about me and all that kind of stuff.
Right. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you serve a master and then you realize how replaceable you are.
So does he go anti-hero?
No, he's anti-hero. Yeah.
So
he's definitely not good, but yeah.
And there's this whole so there's these what are they called, not didacts, holocrons. I'm mixing my Halo with Star Wars. They have these holocrons that like one's a Sith holocron which they kept in like a temple and it like tells you information, and there's a Jedi one, and throughout the show they
think of like a really big USB drive that holds like all the Jedi and Sith secrets, and it glows,
right? And so they merge the two, which is like apparently not supposed to happen or something like that, and one of the good guy characters in Darth Maul kind of get this vision for a second of something really important.
Because they say if you merge the 2 crystals together, or holocrons together, what'll happen is you'll get like the thing that you've used, like it's kind of like a genie. You can ask it a question and you'll get an answer.
And so they get this answer of twin sons.
Well, it like broke during the process. Right. So then you get the full answer, but it's like, oh, I saw a vision of twin sons.
2 sons, right? So then you're like,
well, that's what Ezra got, and then Maul says like, oh, he's alive?
Right, and you're like, oh, they're talking about either one. You're like Obi-Wan Kenobi because remember he ran away
and Tatooine,
and then you're like, oh, they're gonna find out about freaking Luke, and like that is cool enough. Like that would have been fine. But then they go to like Darth Maul goes to Tatooine
in search of Kenobi,
in search of Obi-Wan Kenobi
to kill him,
and fights him.
Oh,
in
really?
a cartoon, which
that's
is like,
cool.
yeah,
and it's like Alec Guinness, like it's like the
Old
mix
man.
between McGregor because he's got like the white beard and everything like McGinnis, but he still has like the kind of features of like Clone Wars. What he looked like, it's a perfect mesh.
And
of
they
both
do
of them
this
together.
little thing because one thing that everyone complains about with the prequels is like the jumping around and flipping with the lightsaber, like Ewan McGregor fighting and stuff like that. And he has like all these like things where he like points at the guy. And
He
he's
still
got,
does that. His like
his like
move.
points and he's got the lightsaber. And then of course in the original trilogy, it's like.
Right.
Yeah,
like
especially when you
very-
see Obi-Wan fighting Vader, you just see the because he's a freaking old man.
one, it was like the
No,
special
I know.
effects back then, but he
Right.
was an
But to
older guy.
explain that, yeah,
But this does this cool little thing where when they're about to fight, Obi-Wan holds his hands on, does the old pose, and then he kind of switches slowly to the old man pose where he's kind of just
no,
holding the
Qui-Gon's pose.
Qui-Gon's pose, which is like it's such a cool nod to like here's the connection, right?
Right.
Like it literally was like old, new, click, and it's like
And then
oh.
Maul does the pose he did when he killed Qui-Gon because, and then
of course what's cool, you're waiting for this, and this is the part that I like and don't like. And again, we're spoiling all of this. So they're about to fight, right? They're gonna go out and you're like, oh my god, I want to see. Yeah, he's like screaming at him and stuff like that, and he runs it because he's pissed. This guy's the guy who bested him, right? He beat his master. How could you beat me? You're the Padawan. Anyway, so they fight, and he just immediately kills him. Obi-Wan just slices him in half.
there's like a couple, and then just like slice him up the middle,
and
you don't see like
you don't see anything on the show.
he
They
breaks
don't-
his lightsaber or Maul's lightsaber in half, and then
Well, Obi-Wan can't lose.
right, and that's the part of these shows that I don't. It's like the Titanic, right? Like it's
yeah.
gonna.
But did you expect Maul to die? You know what I mean?
Yes. I did expect him to die because
So did I,
they got to
but-
wrap that up at some point. Like he's lived so long, it's like Wolverine. He'll eventually just come back. But it was just so quick and abrupt that you were like, oh, that's not what I expected. But I think that's kind of what they were going for.
It's perfect.
It is perfect, but it's also just like I want like those things you want. Like I want like the 15-minute
fight, right.
like in episode 3, right? You want that 25-minute lightsaber battle where they're.
But you can't do that because like I explained this to you before. It's like in the beginning of the episode, you see Maul in the desert like almost dead, yelling Kenobi's name and all that kind of stuff. So it's like by the time he finds Ben, it's like, well, the desert probably killed him, right? He was already super weak from that,
right?
And it just goes to show like Obi-Wan's made his peace. He's gonna be calm, collective.
It's cool.
Not let his anger,
Right,
And
he's
that's what-
right, and he's had time to reflect on all the things he messed up on. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm not doing that again. Like we're not gonna let anger get the best of me. Because
Do you guys ever watch shows and you're like, I know this is a 30-minute show, and I'm like 28 minutes in,
Right.
So like I know this isn't gonna be what I want it to
Right,
be. You know what I
right.
mean? Because
I'm
like,
the same way. Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, if they were gonna
Especially
start
it's one of like
this,
the last couple episodes of a season. You're like, oh, we gotta start wrapping up. Man. When is something gonna happen?
And then okay, so that's the second to last episode, and then the last episode is go ahead.
Not only that, but like they have a real peaceful moment. Like,
Yeah,
kind of sets him down, and Maul is like, "Oh, is he the chosen one?" Like referring to Luke, and then Ben's like, "Oh yeah, he is.
He's
good. Then he'll bring us. What do you say?
He'll bring balance to the Force. He'll
No.
revenge us.
Yeah. Because like Palpatine went to Maul's planet, killed his brothers, killed his sisters,
And his
killed his
mom.
mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the
Gotta
fact
tie
that
up those loose ends.
yeah, exactly. So the fact that in theory, he believes that Luke will kill Palpatine. He's like, oh, okay, cool.
Spoiler alert: Darth Vader does it.
Well, yeah, Darth Vader's the real chosen one. But
But anyways, it was just really cool, and you see like Obi-Wan like looking off in a distance, and you see Luke running. You hear Aunt Bru's like Luke, and then he's running, and you're like like they do those little things. Where you're just like, and like it's just cool to see old.
it's cool to see Ben. Yeah.
It's cool to see Alec.
Oh, you mean old Ben?
Old Ben, yeah, exactly. And then so the second to last episode is more of the Rebel storyline because it was kind of interesting to have this Darth Maul and Obi-Wan storyline at least towards the
We
end
had Ezra in there, but it's like you just need him in there to get
to the Rebels part.
like get the plot moving. Yeah.
That's one of the characters in the Rebel universe. So the last episode is this. It's kind of this cool space battle. And then
Thrawn
in Orville,
finally found their base because Callus screwed up. Yeah,
I do think it's funny that his name is Callus. Like it's funny that the Callus. Anyways,
what is it?
like
on your feet?
yeah, it's just no. It's interesting because he's like a spy. Like he's like the Callus on the Empire because he's like I don't know. Anyways,
That's stupid.
I don't know. It's just thematically, it's kind of interesting.
I do like how the agent names are fulcrum because it's like, oh, I'm not good, I'm not black.
Yeah, you're the fulcrum. Yeah. I didn't really enjoy it. It was kind of like, paint by numbers. I get it. Like, there's this one guy that's not really good or bad, and they ask for his help, and he helps.
Bendu.
Yeah, it's just
Turns to a storm.
It's super paint by numbers. Oh, we need this extra help. We got to go ask this person. They're like, we can't help you, but we will help you. It's like, it's the same. Like, I was like, there's
but did he help? And he's like, yeah, he's helping. But it's like, no, you got to get off my rock too, man. This isn't like, I'm not helping you. I want both you guys to leave.
No, that's fine. I meant the Mandalorians. They go and ask help, and the Mandalorian's like, we can't help you. And then they're like, but we'll help you. Like, but
it's Sabine, man.
It's paint by numbers. It's
Whatever,
it's
I
like,
loved it.
No, didn't enjoy it.
General, what's his face?
Sacrifices himself.
Yeah, dove the carrier into like the interdictor. Like, that was freaking cool, man.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I do like the fact that like the rebels are becoming more and more like rebels, like kamikazing their ship into other, like they're like, yeah,
it's like we saw in Rogue One. It's like, we got to get this done one way or another, man.
Exactly.
Dive that ship into this one.
That's cool, and I like that the general that's like for the Empire, General Thrawn, he's always one step ahead, because
Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah, whatever. But the point is, most bad guys in the
nerd.
God. Shut up.
Most bad guys in like the Star Wars universe are always like 10 moves behind. They're like, why are they going that way? And then like,
yeah.
But here he's like, no, they're gonna do this. And like, what ends up happening is like the failure of other people that don't listen to him, who think he's playing some like long game. They're like, no, they're right there. I'm gonna kill him. And they're like, trust me, you don't want to do that. And he's like, you don't know anything. And then he goes, and then of course the whole plan goes to crap.
Yeah.
I enjoy that part of it more. But I like the line at the end where he's like, Bendu's like, I've seen what happens to you. Mm-hmm. You die with a bunch.
And he freaks out.
Yeah, that's cool. Like,
speaking of, Thrawn's book comes out in April.
Yeah, so there
his
you
novels.
go. See, it's just cool to see like the novels meeting up with like this kid show. Like, it's cool that.
I'm curious where they're going to do the novel. I'm assuming they would do like a backstory of Thrawn.
Yeah, but I think generally the show is excellent. The animation in is just amazing, out of sight. It was just freaking. It looks so good. And
I've seen Ezra in the desert and stuff, like seeing like the dirt.
Yeah, it's just really really interesting, and I don't know. It's fun to watch, but it's kind of like. Again, it's like it's not going to do any crazy twists because it's a kids' TV show.
Well, not only that,
like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm expecting like I want some deep stuff, and it's like, no, we're just.
Well, I think we're going to get. I have a feeling that next season will be the last.
It has to be. This was supposed to be the last.
And because this takes place 2 years before Rogue One, the events of Rogue One, right? And which takes place right before New Hope. So we're kind of getting up to that point. Each time they do a season split with the show, the characters age like years. Ezra.
That's true. Yeah.
And stuff. So I assume we're going to see the next season will be them like the rebellion. The rebellion is the thing. Right. This is happening, and then it'll probably lead up to Rogue One. And
you get introduced at the very end of this. You meet a couple of characters that you've technically already met, but they're in this universe. Is Moff, or what's her name?
Mon Mothma. She was a few episodes ago.
Yeah, but I'm just saying in this season, and then at the very end you see the general.
I forgot his name, but yeah, the general with all the white hair. Yeah.
The big white beard general, and anyways, you don't know. But
I don't know.
Anyways,
I'm lost. So I kind of want to play Zelda right now.
Shut up.
What a jerk. No, but it's a very good show, obviously, if you're into all this stuff.
I'll bring you back in a second. But go ahead, keep going. Anything else?
I have a couple things about that can wait. You want to talk about?
Yeah, I'll get to mine. We'll talk about Mass Effect in a second.
All right, David, what you doing this week?
I'll bring Jordan back into the conversation. Did you watch the Spider-Man trailer?
I was hoping you were going to talk about
there we go.
Yes,
the new
I
Spider-Man
did.
2 trailer. Or